I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and it is Easter Sunday, and I'm here with my latest Flosstube video. For some reason, my husband's off working a 16-hour shift today, so I'm home hanging out with the boys and have a chance to get caught up and show you what I've been up to and what I've been working on. The project that I've showed you almost every Flosstube video so far is a little girl's fancy. I am still working on it. I got the little girl. I think she's a girl and not a doll because the hat on the chair matches her outfit, but maybe I'm wrong and whatever. So I'm still kind of jumping around from spot to spot on this, and I've decided that as soon as I get a good chunk of sewing time, I'm going to start the dollhouse that's there in the empty space by the trunk. I realize that I've been using a lot of negative language when I talk about this one. I've said I'm plotting, I've said I'm getting nowhere, and I've got to stop that because I really, really love this project. It's just overwhelming me how huge it is. I know what stitch count means, I know how big my fabric is, but when I started this one, I wasn't thinking about how long it would take me to do. So 3 months in, I'm going to finish it. The end is not in sight, but I know it's going to get there. And I'm having fun. In the last video, I talked about the idea of birthday starts and showed you a couple of possibilities. The time has passed since then. I didn't start any of those. What I did start is this vintage crewel kit that I picked up at a thrift shop recently. It's been an experience. I don't know if I like it or not. I'm getting frustrated by how thick the needle is and how thick the threads on the background fabric are, and I can't get stitches to go exactly where I want them to go. Getting started on this one was a bit of an adventure because the original needle had been in the fabric. It had become one with the fabric, and I don't think I would have touched that thing if I wasn't current on my tetanus shots. I did manage to pry it out without either damaging the fabric or puncturing myself, which is good. And the stitching will cover up the little rust spot that was left behind. And basically, this is my guinea pig. I'm figuring out what I'm doing before I move on to those cute little girls that I showed you in the video not long ago. Last video, I showed you a shawl I just started called Close to You. And I have finished that one. It's a loose knit, so the light shows through, unless it's laying up against a flat surface, the light shows through, and there's not much I can do about that, but it's done. I like it. And after I realized what the pretty color changes in the yarn were capable of, I had 3 skeins of this yarn in my stash. I ordered them through a Knit Picks clearance sale a few years back, and then I thought I could use it for socks. It turned out I couldn't, but it works really good for shawls. And this one, the pattern is called Oaklet. It's same yarn, different colorway. It's got a lot of stockinette stitch and a little bit of a pattern border. I've got 1 skein of this yarn left in a green colorway, and I'm not planning on casting on with it immediately. It feels good to use up something in your stash that you were frustrated with and had started to wonder if you were ever going to use it. But for right now, I'm starting another new shawl. This one's called Multnomah. Lots and lots of garter stitch, and then it'll have a feather and fan border when I'm done. It's Knit Picks Hawthorne, which is my absolute favorite of their sock yarns. And that's going to be my mindless knitting for the moment. So I know everybody has been to Hobby Lobby lately, but I keep seeing posts on Stitch Mania, and people are showing kits that I hadn't seen when I was at my Hobby Lobby. I've been so far to 3 different Hobby Lobbies. I think I've found everything there is to find, but if I get a chance to go to another one, which is not terribly likely at this point, I'll go back. So I got the kittens on quilts, and I almost bought this one with a 40% off coupon around Christmas time, so finding it for $10 made me happy. I got this one more for the clock in the book than for the kittens. And my daughter has a hedgehog. She loves hedgehogs. We all love hedgehogs. So I want to stitch this one up. I don't know yet if it's going to be for her or me. Hedgehogs are fun, but they are not low maintenance pets, and there are some real potential issues, so don't run and get a hedgehog. I love the unicorn tapestry, and this is one that I went back and found after I had already been there the first time and seen someone else's video. The ship. I don't garden. I don't want to garden, but I love garden sheds. And I have the owl. It is gorgeous, and we had an encounter with an owl in our yard a couple of years back that really wanted to come inside the house over the course of several evenings, so I like the idea of making an owl to hang in our old farmhouse to commemorate that. And then stamped cross stitch is not usually my thing, but they're cute little forest animals, and it's got all of the animals and their floss and fabric in separate little packages, so this might be a travel kit for the future. It was $3.25. I wasn't going to think it through too hard. And then I did get a couple of the little tiny kits. And I got scissors, so Michelle, hopefully at Acorns and Threads, I will remember to put these in my bag and not use your scissors all day long. Thank you, thank you, thank you for letting me use them last time. That was a lifesaver. So yesterday, we had to go down to Eugene for a couple of different things, and it was kind of a hurry up and wait. One thing was early in the morning, one thing was afternoon. So if you have one thing in the morning and one thing in the afternoon and a couple hours to kill, you go find the thrift shops. Does this look familiar? It is one of the companion pieces for that Cruel Project in Progress I just showed you. This is Swiss Cocoa. The one I am currently stitching is Coffee. There is, I believe, a maple syrup and a tobacco tin that has a pipe that I would love to find and get my hands on. And then from one of last year's thrift shop hauls, I have a bigger, I think it's flower canisters, but it's the same series with the harvest gold and the yellow background. And if I ever stitch them all up, which who knows if that'll happen, I'm thinking I could put them together into a quilted wall hanging. I really see some possibilities. And then I hemmed and hawed a bit about this little house because the house is printed and then you embellish it, and I'm usually not big on embellished needlework, but it's a really cute house and it has a frame and it was $1.49 and all the justification. And then this is a needlepoint kit. My youngest son has been wanting to learn cross stitch, and I did set him up with some floss and some Aida. But I'm thinking that maybe the needlepoint will be more manageable for him. And it was 99 cents, and why not? If he doesn't like it, I may stitch it, or who knows. And then look at this one. I have been on eBay and Instagram drooling over these vintage cross stitch or vintage crewel kits with the house plants, and I found one. And the needle is not permanently welded to the fabric, so yay! That was all at the same thrift shop where a couple weeks ago I got all those crewel little girls that I showed you in a previous video. I got a little bit lost trying to get from point A to point B and cut through a parking lot, and there was a thrift store. So if there's a thrift store that you've never been to and you have time to kill, you explore. It was one of those rare thrift shops that just, I don't know what the feeling in there was. It wasn't that it was dirty. It wasn't that the stuff was yucky. It was just kind of a bad feeling. But I found this. It is Teresa Wensler's Footprints. I I like Teresa Wensler. I have a bunch of her designs that I really want to stitch. Footprints is probably the last of hers I would ever stitch, just because I like the story, I like the poem, I just don't like them enough to spend that much time stitching every word. It was a dime. So I knew some of her stuff was out of print. I did come home and look it up on her website, and it looks like this is out of print, but don't hold me to that, because I don't know. I brought it home, and if one of you would like to stitch this, I'd love to pass it along, so I'm going to do a giveaway. If you would like to enter the giveaway, leave me a comment. Don't say, it's same as everybody else's rules, don't say giveaway, just say I'd like to stitch footprints. And before I do my next Flosstube video, I'll pick a name and get your address. If you are under 18, you can't send me your address. So if you're under 18 and you want to enter, have your parents enter for you, or work it out with your parents. You can't send me your address, but I want to make sure that I don't like cutting people out. And I know when my teenagers were just on the edge of being 18, there were things they couldn't do for no good reason, and that was frustrating. So if you're under 18 and you want to enter, have someone who's over 18 enter for you. I will ship this internationally if someone outside the United States wins. I figure I can leave giveaways open internationally until I have too many international winners and have to cut back on postage. I did have another pattern that tied in with my last video with the little girls and the creepy stuff, and I totally forgot it, so I'll give that one away in the next video. I think people will like it. I hope. I liked it before my little girl outgrew that sort of thing. And so thank you for watching. Happy Easter if you are celebrating Easter. We did an egg hunt yesterday, and today we're just hanging out around the house. I'll see you soon.